What if everything you've been told about the divine feminine is a lie? An ancient female master knew the truth, but the masculine world couldn't handle her power, so they buried it. The divine feminine, however, has returned, and the rulers fear her intense power more than ever. This forgotten goddess lives in your heart right now, waiting to be unleashed. The only question is whether or not you can handle her bliss. For 13,000 years, humanity has been deceived about the true power of the divine feminine. But this divine feminine power is awakening and will soon destroy the negative energies that have been infecting the minds of humanity since the great flood event 13,000 years ago. So 13,000 years ago, we did live in what is called Satya Yuga, the Golden Age. And this Golden Age really was everything that we talk about when we talk about the 5D world. There was a time when humanity lived with the gods. And during this time, people understood the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But after the fall, that all changed. 2,000 years ago, a girl was born who had a special shamanic gift to commune with nature and the ancestral spirits. Later in life, she began meditating deeply, and her powerful meditations caught the attention of higher dimensional light beings in other dimensions. They came to her and began teaching her extremely powerful techniques to release the power of the divine feminine. And this knowledge that she began to share has been evolving over the past 2,000 years. At that same time, 2,000 years ago, there was a prophecy that the world was going to shift into a brand new world of peace, and that there would be people that they called the seed people, who would be the first human beings to awaken to the truth of the divine feminine and of the new world and bring this new peace, create this new world. She began teaching these methods of immortality to others. This was the birth of modern Daoism. Everything we now know about Qigong, energy work, the 5 elements, and meditations to achieve immortality came from the teachings channeled to this woman by those light beings 2,000 years ago. However, as her teachings began being copied in other Taoist sects, the true teaching of the power of the divine feminine was erased from the original Taoist teachings even until today. That lady's name was Wei Huachan, and she started what was called the Shangqing Taoist sect, which later became the Maoshan sect. But it was only the Maoshan, those who really studied the true power of this woman's teachings and continued to work with the light beings that channeled this knowledge to her. Those were the people who truly understood the divine feminine, but their power became so great that the ruling elite as well as the religious elite, including other Taoist sects, began erasing the knowledge of the secret teachings of the divine feminine. And this is true even today. After Earth's fall from Satya Yuga, when masculine and feminine powers were synthesized, dark forces in humanity that sought to enslave the world began only teaching practices associated with the masculine and slowly began erasing the now hidden powers of the feminine. The result is a human race that has no power and no identity. For the divine masculine can accomplish nothing without the power of the divine feminine. Now, this is important to understand. Again, these rulers understood this. They understood that if they could take away the power that human beings could have access to, then they would be in fact powerless. And this became the beginning of the patriarchal understanding that we now know. When we look in our history, our written history, it's all run by the patriarchy. But that wasn't true 13,000 years ago. Within the middle energy center of the heart, the middle dantian, the powers of masculine and feminine reside together. But you have only been taught about the masculine power that resides in the heart center, which we know of as the soul. Now that's only half of the energy that lives in your heart. You see, the soul is you. But regardless of your physical gender, your soul is a masculine energy. So the best that we can accomplish as humans by activating the masculine energy of the soul is a passive state of peace. This peace is absolutely necessary for spiritual awakening, but it is only half of the heart's power. Remember that without the power of the feminine, the masculine can do nothing. So this may come as a shock to you, but we don't just have a soul here. The soul is the masculine part. The energy that surrounds it, that allows it to exist in the third dimension, is the divine feminine. This might be a little bit confusing. Maybe you've never heard of this before, but trust me, when you tap into this power, you're going to understand what the true depth of the power of the divine feminine is. Without the full activation of the feminine power of the heart center, the person will not only lack the ability to achieve their highest spiritual potential, but they will never feel the love that is necessary to survive the awakening process. The divine masculine and the divine feminine need each other intensely. The most difficult thing for the divine masculine to do is to fully surrender to the intense love of the divine feminine. This love will destroy the limited ego of the masculine and allow the soul to achieve its highest spiritual power. This is true for both men and women. So it doesn't matter what physical gender you are. Your soul is masculine and your soul needs the full power of the divine feminine. And before this video is over, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. In Taoist spirituality, the masculine force of the heart is called Shen. The feminine force is called Xi. For the last 13,000 years until now, the Xi energy has been sublimated and prevented from giving her intense love to the soul. But now, because of the rapid frequency shift the earth is experiencing, the Xi energy is awakening and cannot hold back the intense love she feels for the soul. And if one tries to resist the love of the Xi for the soul, the result is catastrophic. The person will experience complete self-destruction. Perhaps you've watched people recently that you know who have seemingly out of nowhere began destroying themselves. So this is why you're seeing people completely freak out for no reason. This is why there are people who you've known for years, family members, friends you've been close to, all of a sudden they're freaking out or they're acting in ways that you can't tolerate. You can't be around them anymore. It's because this divine feminine is awakening. And you would think, oh, feeling loved is easy. Oh, I'm feeling all this love, it's all going to be okay. But the truth is that this third dimensional world actually operates from self-devaluation, hatred, fear, negativity. People have gotten so used to it, they identify with it. So when true love comes along, true acceptance of your essence comes along, people's first reaction is to fight against it. From an energetic perspective, the divine masculine needs feminine power, the intense love of the Xi, and the divine feminine needs the strength of the Shen, committed direction and purpose. Without the love of the Xi, the soul withers and dies. Without the commitment and support of the Shen, the Xi explodes into fiery self-destruction. But when the Xi and the Shen merge, the result is an unimaginably intense spiritual power and force that will completely shift the entire multiverse into higher and higher states of manifestation. As it turns out, the only place in the multiverse where the most successful merging of Xi and Shen is possible is here on planet Earth, in the hearts of human beings. So what is happening here on planet Earth right now is that this shift that we are going through, which is awakening a higher dimensional version of the divine feminine, even more powerful than the version we had 13,000 years ago. This power is awakening, and it is seeking out her beloved, which is the soul. So the souls of human beings on planet Earth are being surrounded by this love. For people who are trapped in negativity, it feels like it's killing them. Because, this is why we're afraid to fall in love, because we're afraid of the rejection that might come. This happens on an unconscious level. Imagine if you've been living in fear and rejection and isolation and self-hatred your whole life, and all of a sudden the most intense unconditional love comes along. It's going to bring up fear, because everything you know will be destroyed. Earth has not yet seen what happens when the Xi fully surrounds the Shen and releases her intense love for him. And the masculine has not yet felt the strength of the soul as he completely surrenders to her love and meets her with his strength. For 13,000 years, the divine masculine has played out his fantasy of control over the physical. But now, just wait until the power of the feminine is fully awakened by the surrender of the masculine to her. The result will be a soul so powerful and so strong that a new classification of deity will emerge. And this is the true expression of what we are calling the 5D shift. So, if you're familiar with Hindu mythology, then you know that the reason why Shakti loves Shiva is that because he completely surrenders himself to her. When he does this, she falls so in love with him, she gives him complete power over her. But it's not because he has all the power. It's because he has the strength. He can handle her power. So this is what's going to happen internally with every person. We have to surrender to the intense love of the divine feminine, the power of the Xi, in order for our soul to take its true place as the emperor of the entire multiverse. As this 5D shift unfolds, a new breed of human will be created to lead the rest of humanity into the merging of divine feminine and divine masculine into the highest divinity. These people who are meant to be the protectors of Earth and humanity will learn how to combine the Xi and Shen in their own hearts. These human protectors will have a special frequency that will give them the power to destroy all negativity, self-hatred, and devaluation. The higher dimensional light beings who first transmitted the teachings of the Xi, the divine feminine lightning power, to Earth have decided to share this knowledge with the whole world. Whereas before, during the time of the divine masculine, the sheer power of the Xi, the divine feminine, was too dangerous for the average person. But now humanity is finally ready for this power. So this is why the ancient Mao Shan had to go into hiding. And over the past 2,000 years, they have continued to evolve and develop practices that allow them to release this Xi energy. So if you don't know what the Xi energy is, if you're familiar with traditional Chinese medicine, you've heard of the heart protector, also called the Xin Bao. But what you don't know is that originally this was a goddess that was worshipped. So without going into too much detail, I have been working with this goddess in a very personal way with the interdimensional meditations that I teach on this channel. And I can tell you, without any doubt, this is a real being. This is a real person. And she is awakening. And she needs to give the love that she has to the souls of human beings. And if we can learn to allow ourselves to have the power of Shiva, the strength of Lord Shiva, we can surrender to this love. If we do that, this love will completely surround our souls. And when these two energies merge, Shiva and Shakti, our soul, with the divine feminine, the lightning power of the She, when we merge those two, human beings are going to become something that the entire multiverse has never seen. We are going to be beyond even what we understand deities to be. If you want to learn how to do this, this knowledge is being given for the first time to the whole world. I've been training in these practices for over 30 years. I didn't fully understand what they all meant until I started working directly with light beings 3 years ago. They've explained to me and just begun to show me the power of this teaching. But what's most interesting is that this power, this lightning power that surrounds and protects the soul, is a being that you can have a personal connection with. I am communicating with and in the process of merging myself in my heart center with this divine feminine. And I'm here to tell you that there's no power that even comes close to it. And I'm also here to tell you that this is what's changing the world. So if you'd like to be a part of it, I can tell you exactly how to do that. So here are the steps to fully awaken the She. The first thing you do is the interdimensional meditation. Now that is free on this channel. We still do this live guided interdimensional meditation to Sekhmet. That's the Egyptian version of this energy we're talking about. And we do these live guided meditations every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel, live streamed. If you can't make the live stream, you can go and watch any of the videos that we have done and are archived there. Feel free, pick any of them. You're going to have an experience if you do them with the least bit of sincerity. So that's the first step, is to connect with these same higher dimensional beings that taught the original founder of the Taoist religion and the Maoshan sect. Talk to those light beings. They're ready and waiting for you. All you have to do is do a very simple meditation, very simple technique, and you can communicate with them. And let's see, so that's how you get started. That's step one, is to do the interdimensional meditation. Second step is to do the practices called summoning the immortals and or celestial qigong and or the warrior 90-day lightning qigong. So those are three separate things, and they can be found on the channel for this, the Patreon channel for this YouTube channel. So you would go to thunderwizard.com right here. That's the website. And there you will find, you click on shop, and you will find a bunch of things like this. This is only one page. There's a bunch of pages on there. So you scroll down until you see right there on the bottom middle, Maoshan Summoning the Immortals. That is the practice that I created so that anybody can tap into this power and feel it. So I'm not asking you to take my word for any of this. I want you to feel it and experience it. Try that meditation out and listen. Hey, if you don't feel anything, move on, stop wasting your time listening to me and go somewhere else. If you do feel the power, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You can continue to do that power, that practice. That would be part of step one. Summoning the Immortals. If you go to the direct right of that, you'll see Celestial Qigong. So that is, you can either do Summoning the Immortals, or you can do Celestial Qigong, or you can do them both. Both of them are very user-friendly, and in fact, the Celestial Qigong is me reverse engineering the higher practices and making them available so that anybody can do them. So whoever you are, you can do those practices no matter where you are in life, no matter what you know. And everybody who I've taught this to, including high-level Qigong practitioners and yogis, have all said to me the same thing, that when they do the Celestial Qigong or the Summoning the Immortals, they say, I've never felt any energy that had this high of a frequency, that had this much power. All right, so you can do Summoning the Immortals, Celestial Qigong, and or Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. That can be found here at thunderwizard.com, except you click on memberships, not shop, memberships. And when you do that, you will see this. You see there, Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. Just click on that and subscribe to that. Follow the practices. There's 3 phases. There's a lot of information there, but the only thing you have to worry about is to go and do the lightning Qigong practices. There's a morning practice, an afternoon, and an evening. You don't have to do all of it. You can do one. You can do whatever you're comfortable with. But if you do those practices, it'll make your nervous system and your energy meridians able to handle the full power of the Xi. If you're hit with that full power right away, it's gonna, you're going to be launched into a whole other reality, and it might be challenging for your mind and your body to handle it. I've blown a few circuits myself doing this, so it is good to, start at the instead of diving into the deep end, to walk in the shallow end first. So that is thunderwizard.com. Click on memberships, and then you can then click on Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. Okay, so that is step 2, those exercises. Step 3, we get into the intermediate range. Here we do the 5-element Maoshan spirit fighting forms, and that can be found again at thunderwizard.com. You click on memberships, you click on shop, and you'll see all of you can start with the wood set. You see on the bottom left there. If you just want to start with one, start with the wood set. But as soon as you get comfortable with that and you feel the power, then do the rest. Metal, fire, water, and earth. Follow all of those. So once you've done that, then you can go ahead and subscribe to the Maoshan Level 1 instructional videos. You'll still have access to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. It's an incredible value. You'll get so much out of it. Okay, so that is number 3, the 5-element Maoshan spirit fighting forms and the Maoshan Level 1 videos. The 4th step is to do the Hands of Infinity, or called the Maoshan first set. That is available. You can find that here at maoshan.thunderwizard.com. Those of you who are doing it, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you've done the 5 elements, the power of the 5 elements is crazy. But once you do the first set, boom, it goes up exponentially. So that's as much as we have available. And when we get enough people who've done all the way up to the first set, I'll release the next practices, which will take us to even higher levels. And these are going to open up these 3 energy centers in the body in a way that has not been done for thousands of years. And these practices I'm giving you have been developed and evolved over thousands of years, because normally it would take at least a decade of living on a mountaintop and meditating all day, every day on these centers in order to be able to awaken them and activate them enough so that you can achieve this power. But the light beings have been slowly teaching the Maoshan practitioners over the past couple thousand years more and more methods to activate the Xi. And this is the pinnacle. And what they've told me is that they have been working on this for a couple thousand years, and that me and you, if you're doing this practice, we are the ones that are the recipients of the highest level of these practices, because now is the time for us to awaken and combine the divine masculine and divine feminine, the soul and the Xi, and then to shift. That's all that we're here to do. That's all that I'm here to help you do. Okay, so when you get past the Hands of Infinity, then you can do the complete butterfly hand set. The reason why I say complete is that if you do the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, the third phase, I actually teach you half of the second set butterfly, just the butterfly itself, not the second set. There's a part in it called the butterfly hands. I teach you half of that. And I do that specifically so you can feel the power. So once we get past the first set, I'm going to teach you the whole second set, the butterfly hands, which is a very long and extremely powerful moving form. But that's coming very soon for those of you that want it and are willing to work for it. When I see that enough people are working towards it, I will release that. Again, that's going to truly activate the heart center, and it's going to unite the masculine and the feminine. I learned this set 30 years ago. I mean, the power was so unbelievable. I had to stop everything in life just so that I could absorb it. But now it's a lot easier for us to handle this power. All right, so once you get past number 5, which is the complete butterfly hands, or the second set, then we do the assassin fist, which is the third set. That's going to open up the third eye, and it's going to activate the pineal gland in such a way where literally you will be so powerful that if you were to walk into a haunted house or a house that was filled with demons, you would have the power just with the energy that's coming out of your aura to destroy them. Normally you have to do prayers and light incense and get the gods in, but you will be so powerful. The energy that comes out of you will be so intense, you'll be able to walk into a room and destroy demons with your bare hands. So that is the assassin fist, that's the third set. And then step 7 is the continued practice of the previous exercises, everything up to that point, as well as doing the holding the 3 ones meditation and the mantra. Now that is taught in the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. I teach you a simplified holding of the 3 ones meditation, and there's a mantra that goes with it. And it's in English, so you just simply speak that, and you'll have to do it to find out. So you do that along with all the previous practices. That'll be step 7, along with continued doing interdimensional meditation. So once we have access to the whole Xi energy, which is found within all those sets, opening up the 3 energy centers, the third eye, the heart, and the navel, then we can really begin our work to begin shifting ourselves and shifting this earth. But these practices are so amazing and so intense, there's still a couple more if you'd like to keep doing it. So optional practices after, step 7, which is the third set. I meant to write the third set. Optional practices after step 7 are the sets Dark Warrior. So the Dark Warrior set is, the Dark Warrior is actually a very beneficial god. He's called the Dark Warrior of the North, and what it means is he's overcome the darkness. And so that's why he's the Dark Warrior. He fights against the darkness. He is the supreme master of yin and yang. And this being will give you power over the universe. So doing this practice that I've been channeling directly from this being, trust me, you'll see. Listen, all I can tell you is what I saw happen. It might be coincidental. We recently had a hurricane that was heading for Florida not too long ago. I went and did this set with the intention of putting a fence around Florida to keep all of the hurricanes out. And as soon as I did that, the next thing that happened is that it disappeared. It was starting to form, and it just disappeared. And that absolutely blew my mind. The fact that I could do that and intend that, and I could feel the power, and to have the weather change. Now, maybe it's a coincidence, but this latest one, which I also did, again, another hurricane was heading for Florida, and I said, I don't want to live through that. So I focused on it, did the same thing, and it went from the National Hurricane Center saying there was a 90% chance of a hurricane forming, or a storm forming, which would turn into a hurricane within 48 hours. And as soon as I did that, within 48 hours, it disappeared, and it went from 90% chance to 0. That's a first. That's never happened before. So again, maybe it's a coincidence. That's the power of the Dark Warrior set. And then there's one other set called the Spirit Fist set. And this is a set I'm now working on. It was a small, short set, and I decided I wanted to expand it, and I asked for the power to do that, and I was given that, so I've been expanding that set. And the power of that is really beautiful. It has everything to do, again, I believe, with the Shen, with the masculine part of the soul. And I'm awaking that, and the peace and the joy that comes from it, as well as the power, is really, the strength is really something special. So those are optional, and I'll make those available to you. I'll make the Dark Warrior set available soon for everybody if you want it. Anyway, so those are all of the steps that I have. These are the things that have been given to me to share with the world. And so I'm sharing everything that's been given to me. You know, I don't know what else is out there, how many other, light being teachers there are working with people. I don't know. What I know is that I've been told that my job is to find those people who are meant to be spirit protectors of Earth and to teach them these practices. So I am obeying that. It was never my intention to teach these practices. I started teaching them a few years ago, and I sort of tested it out, and I did it. Again, it wasn't my idea. I just, I was running out of, financially I was bumping into a wall, and I was feeling this desire to go ahead and start teaching it, and I did. I wouldn't have taught all of these things had I not been given direct instructions to do so. So anyway, I hope you'll at least check it out. If you've never done anything, check out the Summoning the Immortals and take it from there. All right, that's it, my friends. I love you all. Thank you so much. And please put in the comments section your experience of these Maoshan practices. If you have any questions about it, please put it in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And of course, every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, live on this channel, we do the interdimensional meditations. I hope you'll show up. That's it for me, my friends. I love you all. Please be very good to yourselves, and I'll see you all very soon.